This Levi Ruth, the Dragon Slayer, suited for you. Big respect.
Right, bro. So I'd say to start off with, I know you because underground rap, fashion, everything like that. Just for the people that don't know you, sort of explain your story, man.
Yeah, so I guess just a multi-hyphenate creative, I guess, doing all sorts of different things across music, a little bit of fashion, work with a lot of brands. Yeah, been doing it for about, say, maybe like probably my 7th year.
Okay.
I've been out here a while, man. I've been out here since I was young.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I run a company called Now or Never. We basically work with loads of artists, we work with brands. Yeah.
Okay, bro. Cool. And yeah, man. And is this like the first sort of? Obviously, I'm familiar with Now or Never. Just got the T-shirt and stuff. Is this the first sort of drive you've had with one brand, or has it been trial and error?
Do you know what? This was actually my first company. This logo on my pendant.
Yeah.
I had another management company. I've always been into music management, so I used to have a management company, and I was like 19, 20. And yeah, I just called it a day. Had some situations, called it a day. You know, you
Yeah.
learn, and a couple of years later, yeah, I thought I'd start Now or Never. I actually had the idea and the name, like the logo, everything, in like back in like 2019.
Okay.
Was actually gonna be a podcast.
Okay.
That was originally
Yeah.
yeah, man.
Yeah, okay.
Now or Never was actually meant to be a podcast that was gonna like motivate people, and yeah.
Okay. And what? So obviously, I know some of the artists I've seen you in the studio with and stuff. Would you say like, can you tell us any sort of people you're working with at the moment, or is it all under the radar?
Nah, like on the actual music creation front, like today we're in the studio. Like after I leave here, I'm going to studio with producer NJ who signed to us.
Okay.
Cairo Keys,
Okay.
T-Skins.
Okay.
We've got them in a session today. So yeah, like for example, I was just like, you two would sound interested in a song together.
Mhm.
So I said, yeah, cool. Like let's get
Let's
in the
make it
studio.
work.
And yeah, that's kind of I guess the role that I play in this scene. I see things that I feel like should be done or need to be made happen, and I try and make them happen.
I know Cairo Keys. He's just done a song with my boy K9.
Okay,
Yeah, man. Yeah, I used to do the cover arts for him when I was
Okay.
like 14.
That's mad.
So
that's mad.
yeah, man. But yeah, I'd say like obviously you said that you sort of started one up, called it a day, and then started Now or Never. Sometimes like you don't want it to go right first track because I'm sure from the one before, you know, you made so much mistakes and
yeah.
then learned from it. And to be fair, when you're starting up, I mean, trial and error so much stuff, and like when you're first starting up, that motivation you can't get from a brand you've had for ages. Like that startup motivation where you're like, right, I need this. Do you know what I mean? I need air fresheners. I need whatever. Like it's not gonna come from having a brand for ages. Do you know what I mean? Just starting up and then having that drive.
I think the best part about it was I think like when I started the first company, it was just called MLJ Management, so it was just like literally my initials, and I guess I tried to build the brand like off of my reputation
Yeah.
in the scene, in the industry, whatever, and as I got a little bit older, I just realized like there's only so far that, like, I think anyway, in my opinion, one person's name can go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This is
Like,
what,
I feel like as a company, you need to have a message or a name or like an ethos that just anyone can at any point in your journey be made aware of and tap into and be like, oh, do you know what? I actually fuck with that. I get completely what message you're trying to put across, and I resonate with that. And I feel like if there's nothing that any like people can resonate with, then there's not really any legs in it. Like even if you look at like why Cortez is so popular, I feel like it's because Clint is just one of the people.
That's what
You
it's
know what I
about.
mean? He's
Yeah,
not
we've
like-
spoke about this before.
Yeah, he's not like one of these guys who went London College of Fashion. Like he's just a guy who is around, who loves what he does,
Yeah.
and he makes it happen. So I feel like people buy into the message around the brand and less like the brand and its products, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we've spoke about Cortez before because I said it's funny. You'll see him go to like America and then he'll go and shoot videos of like Camavinga and Madrid, but then he'll come back and do the drop and it'll be like, yeah, but West London, me at this time. Do you know what I mean? Like, it really does take it back.
Yeah.
And I think when you're right, like working under a sort of brand name that isn't to do with yourself, is that when you hire people, like saying you work for a company and then it's a person's name, like that sort of takes like the humanized out of them, because it's like,
facts.
oh, who do you work for? I work for Morgan James.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
facts.
mean?
Yeah, exactly.
But if you say work for Now and Ever Entertainment, now it's like they're part of something. Do you know what I mean?
And I've even noticed that just like when you're getting people involved with, you know, whatever work we're doing, like people join it's like a movement, isn't it? People join the movement. They join the vibe that we set. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, like Now or Never, I guess over here, this is just how we are. Like everyone that's part of the team, like we're all just every day, like how can we make it happen? Whether it's 1 a.m., 2 in the afternoon, midnight, like we're just always on go. So
Literally now or never.
yeah, it's literally now or never, innit? So I think it was important for us to be able to like pick out something that people can, you know, attach their own feelings to, if that makes sense.
Definitely, and I really respect like how close you work with the underground scene. You know, with like JG and all these other people. It's like this is like this is the new wave. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To the point where it's gone like grime, it's gone like drill, and now people are still doing grime in their own way, and that's still what's popping. But it's like it's very much like a funnel where like when a music genre first comes in, a lot of people are making it, abundance, whatever. And then the more unique you make it, that's what's gonna last. Do you know what I mean? Like clothing brands, Cortez don't pop because of their designs. Do you know what I mean? It's an Alcatraz ship. It's good, but you need something else that's gonna last, bro. They've been going for what, 3-4 years? Do you know what I mean? So they've been going for longer. You know what I mean? They've been popping for 3-4 years. But it's because of like the marketing techniques, the guerrilla marketing behind it. So you need something that's very unique and with, you know, underground rap, because it's such a new. Well, it's not new. You know what I mean? It's very much like new into the spotlight. That a lot of people are trying to jump on it now. So you being able to pick out, okay, he's good, but he's also not recognised. Let's get them two done. Do you know what I mean? And let's try pick and sort of.
I think like even like just in the like what I try to do anyway is by working with like talents that you would call underground. Like we also work with like household names, like in like Harry Pinero, Young Teflon, Tiny Boost, Ret 32, Nando's, Avrex, LS. Like these are all within the last 4 or 5 months. So I think when we're working like on projects like that at that scale with, you know, brands, people, influencers, whatever it is, artists that people know, and then the next day you see us in the studio with an artist you don't know, like I think that makes people take what we're doing a lot more seriously. And kind of, because I hate the tag underground rap. I think it should just be called rap. Like I done a magazine piece with all of the man them on it, like Ashbeck, Len, Londo, Rico, Blaze, Normani, all of them guys, but I put them all on the cover to kind of take away the stigma of them being underground. Do you get what I'm saying? Because I feel like they're only underground because we call them underground as like listeners of music. Yeah,
but at the end of the day, they're doing more streams than some of these mainstream guys.
A lot of these mainstream artists that are all signed to labels are not doing as many streams as some of the guys that are in this underground scene.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. Like if you take away the songs that are signed to these major labels and you put their catalogs next to each other, and you see like there's a guy who's over at Universal. He's got 20,000 streams on a song that he's dropped independently. But then when it comes to, you know, an independent artist who is used to the grind, like they know that they have to promote a song, they have to tease it, they have to take all of the steps.
And themselves as well, not
Yeah, so I feel like the underground like conversation, I hate it. But I guess, you know, we're in the music industry. People are putting shit in boxes, so it's always gonna be here, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose as well it's gonna take like a couple things to happen for people to take it serious. The people that are like, I mean, It
What, like
auto,
Nux?
it was, yeah, same,
like
same,
Saint?
yeah.
Like,
But I
what-
mean,
how
it's the
many
same
more?
with
Like
fashion,
Rushy?
though. It's the
How
same
ma-
with fashion. Do you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
people laugh at flares, and then they'll see, oh, he's wore him, who's got some big names, and then they start like, oh, flares are hard. Do you know what I mean? When actually, people like, yeah, you're right, man. It's like need to see it for what it is without other people giving it justification. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, bro. So yeah, like that's why I put a lot of importance on, like, no matter we'd done a pop up for Harry Panera this year, and like the following week we was in the studio with Seb.
Okay.
So there's no, like, who we work with and the opportunities that come. It's never gonna affect, for me anyway, the output, because like yeah, I feel like what we're trying to show people is important. Like some of these guys, yeah, that we were talking about, the underground, like they've come from dropping out of uni, working jobs, like mad things, bro. Like a lot of them haven't got managers, a lot of them haven't got financial backing, and they wake up and they just go and make it happen, innit? So like, why don't they deserve as much support as a guy who doesn't put in the effort, bro?
Yeah,
Do you
because
get
he
what I'm
just
saying? He doesn't, like,
writes bars, records it, and then hands it off to people to do the
there's
rest.
a lot of man there's a lot of musicians, bro, who they're doing 10% of the work. Like a lot of musicians, like, how do I put it? Um they're not playing the game as it should be played. Do you get what I'm saying? They're
Yeah,
just
yeah.
here and like they know they can drop a song, it should get streams, people will talk about it, people will post about it, but like, having social media and all of these things at your disposal, there's so many things that you can do to pay your fans back for listening to you. Because at the end of the day, being a fan of someone is an investment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People are investing their time and effort to be a fan of someone. So I feel like,
Least you can do is sort of show them a bit back.
yeah, like put in the effort. Like you're putting out a song, create a rollout for it, a marketing plan, like actually, engage people, as opposed to just trying to drop a song so it can hit 1 million streams and you get paid from it.
Yeah, yeah, and people think. I mean, today when I opened, obviously the stuff I bought, and you chucked a few freebies in there, I'm straight away like I can see the vision in it, because it's like, I mean, I've spoke about obviously clothing brands and stuff before, and I remember I was gonna do a jeans thing, and I was like, okay, why don't we do it so we make one type of jean, but each one, the color on it, so we have a blue set, pink set, and a green set or whatever. And each pair of jeans, people think they're just buying the jeans, but actually we put a matching balaclava, plain green t-shirt, and matching socks. And people, like, that's going to cost us probably no more than like £10 on each jean. If our profit margin's more, we're still going to make money. Do you know what I mean? But even if we charge £10 more, but they don't know that psychologically, do you know what I mean? But that sort of like giving someone a freebie, people think that they get an extra, and now it's like, again, it goes back to not being part of Morgan James. It's now part of Now and Never Entertainment. They now feel like they're part of something. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, man, giving people like paying a bit back. Cortez obviously do like the sock giveaway, where it's like loads of socks in a duffel bag, but also like £5 cash. Do you know what I mean? Like he's made way more than £5, so £5, it's giving away free money. Do you know what I mean? So you're not losing anything as such, because the amount of people that then bought socks. I mean, you had to buy socks, didn't you?
Yeah,
and then
you
I
have to-
think
basically you bought a pair of socks, and then, like, say there was 500 pairs. You had 500 pairs of socks. I'm pretty sure this how it worked. You have 500 pairs of socks. Buy a pair of socks. When all the socks sell out, he picks a random order that receives £500.
That's what I mean.
And it slaps, like, because at the end of the day, the audience is like £12. I get socks, and I might get £500.
And who doesn't need
and
socks?
I still get the socks anyway.
Yeah, who doesn't need socks? Do you know what I mean? But then people are like, and I mean, the guy, even if you didn't win that money, still being like, oh, he's actually giving back. He's not just
seeing him send out the order, and someone's receiving it. Like, you're still like, oh well, someone's getting the money. Do you get what I'm saying? He's still doing, good deed at the end of the day. But I think, it's sweat equity, isn't it? It's just like how much time and effort you can put into, like, ideas are free. Unless you're paying someone like me to come up for them. But
which
like,
you should do, by the way.
more time, like, ideas are free. So, like, whether it's going online and looking at stuff that other people in a similar space are doing, and kind of thinking, oh, how can I make, not copy it, but like Kanye said it the best, like, nothing is nothing is new in this world. Like all the best. What was it you said? All of the best artists copy and like make it their own. So I think like people should just be looking for inspiration more.
Yeah.
And just run on it, bro. Literally.
Yeah, man. And I feel like as well when you're talking about obviously going from Harry Pinero and then Seb to the next day, going back to that, like you defo like if you just work with mainstream people, like they're gonna get like results from it because of who they are. So sometimes that's not gonna do what you do justice. Do you know what I mean? So then when you work with someone who's a little less known, then when you see the results, I mean, I'm big on LinkedIn for my work, and I feel someone put something, it was like a McDonald's ad, and it was like the most simplest of ad. It was like, oh, why do we need an Easter advert when you're going to come to us anyway? Right? And it's like, that's that. And they was like, oh, McDonald's smashed it this year, simplicity. But it's like, you know, if I'd done that for my podcast, I'd get less followers than if I'd done a marketing campaign. So it's all about like, before you even put steps into a marketing campaign, like, that's going to be successful depending on that. But even if that flops, if you're still McDonald's, do you know what I mean? They're right. Like they don't need to do anything.
Yeah.
So that simplicity, I mean, even with designs, if, you know, people buy Balenciaga t-shirts that are plain white and sometimes don't even say Balenciaga on it, but because they're Balenciaga. But if you've done a clothing brand, you know, now or never a new rollout and it's just plain white t-shirts.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it does depend on who you are.
But then I think it goes back to what I was saying earlier. It's about like, if the messaging around that white t-shirt is the hardest thing you've seen, like people, it doesn't matter. Genuinely, I don't think it will matter. Like people will buy into the messaging around what's the purpose of this white t-shirt? Why is this brand putting out this white t-shirt? Why is it the best white t-shirt in the market? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if they get that spot on, then at the end of the day, like anyone will buy it.
Yeah, I suppose people.
It's
I'm
the same
sure
with-
so much more people bought socks from Cortez after the Cortez.
Yeah, and like 50 Cent, he become a billionaire off vitamin water. Like just water's free.
Yeah.
Water's free. Like, so it's all about the messaging around what it is you're trying to sell, innit?
Yeah, I hear that, man. I hear that. So, obviously, you mentioned some big names that you'd worked with and alongside. Was that, I'm guessing that came with, you obviously had to have a reputation. How did you feel from, I'm guessing, the years of trial and error with stuff like that?
Obviously, I used to work at The Basement. It's like a creative agency, like deep in the fashion industry. So I was working there for quite a few years. Got my first job in the creative industry, and then just before lockdown, I left there. Ended up at SoundCloud working with the American team,
Okay.
signing, identifying and signing talent to SoundCloud's record label, and then I kind of just hit a little point where I just didn't really know what it was, like that thing was that I wanted to do. Obviously, I always wanted to do music and whatever since I quit football, but like what is that thing I wake up every day and it will
Jump out of bed to do.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And I didn't have that, so I think over 2020, I was managing an artist, and he must have just said to me one day, he was like, "What, like you haven't got your own company or something like that?" And I was like, "Oh, I do actually. I got it in the locker. It's actually sitting on my laptop. I've got a logo and everything." So I was like, "You know what? Let me just." We was about to drop a song, and he said, "Oh, bro, like you're doing all this sick work. Like people need to be able to see the work you're doing for me." Like we ended up doing Wireless that year. So he was the one really who kind of pushed me into like starting the page, and then then I kind of just I left it for like maybe a year, and then I was in a fish and chip shop in Brighton, and I went in and playing like underground rap. So I'm in Brighton, I'm in the middle of Brighton, like, and I hear Ayrton start. I'm like, damn, I'm ordering my food now. Song stops. Saint comes on. I'm thinking, bro, I'm like, who's playing it? Before I could finish, who's playing it? This kid turns around. He's like, oh, me. So NJ made it, innit?
Yeah.
So then, like, I must have been like, oh, like, what? Oh, like, how do you know these artists? He's like, oh, bro, like, this is what I listen to. Da, 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 da. So then I was like, oh, yeah, like, I work with some artists that are, like, similar to these guys. That's why I asked, innit? Because I was curious to see, like, you know, how far the reach was
Yeah.
of, like, an artist like Ayrton. Like, bearing in mind, this is, like, 2020. So
Okay.
at this point, kind of shocked to be hearing it in a fish and chip shop. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he was like, oh, like, how do you like know the music? I said I work with some artists in a similar space kind of thing. And then he was like, oh, I produce, like, let me send you some beats, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I can't come to this fish and chip shop anymore now. And then bro, he sent me the beats. Like, I've worked with bare producers. Like, I've done a lot of producer management. I've worked with a lot of publishers, a lot of sync opportunities. So, like, I would say I've got an ear for a producer. Bro, he sent me a pack of beats, bro, and I got goosebumps straight away.
What?
Straight, like, just
Fire.
from listening to the beats. Yeah, this was that night, and I messaged him like, bro, send me your number now. Was on the phone for like an hour maybe, and I was like, yeah, I'm starting this company, like, I'm gonna do this and do this.
How old was he? Roughly.
23 maybe, 23 I think.
Okay.
And then I was like, yeah, like, I'm starting this company. I want to sign you, and I want you to be like the main producer on the roster. I want to start the company around you, type shit. And he was like, yeah, man, like, yeah, like, I'm just, I don't even know, like, I'm just going festivals and I'm getting burst, and I'm just like being a young guy, like, you know. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, you're mad talented, you don't even know it, and you're working in the fish and chip shop. Whilst
Oh, he was working in the.
he was working in the fish and chip
Okay.
shop, and he's got all of these beats on his laptop, like. So I was thinking, wow, honestly, like, you're from Brighton, you've got a love for this scene, like, you're a producer. And when he sent me the beats, I've gone in his page and I'm like, oh, he's got a song with RD. Like, he's got a song on RD's album that's out already. Like, he produced a song with two of the biggest producers in the UK. They produced Doja.
Yeah.
Like, for Central C, he produced a track with them. So I was like,
Well, and he's just working at your local
bro,
jiffy.
he's working at the local fish and chip shop, bro. Literally, like, next to my nan's house, yeah.
Okay.
So then I was like, fucking hell. Like, I knew I had the ear for a producer. So then I'm like, cool, let's chat type thing. And some time's passed, whatever. Like, I keep hitting this guy up. I keep hitting him up. I'm like, yo, like, what you saying? Like, let's get to work. He's like, oh, the following day after we first spoke, he was like, yeah, Central C's producers management team, so like Young Chinks, you're now listening to Young Chinks. His management was trying to sign him at the same time, innit?
Okay.
Like, the following day, they must have hit him up and they're trying to sign him, whatever, whatnot. Or like chatting to him about signing him, whatever. And I'm saying to him, like, bro, like, yeah, Young Chinks is probably one of the biggest producers in the UK, but you can go there and be number 2, or you can come over here and I'll put all of my time, resources, connections, and effort into you. Like, every day, every waking moment, do you know what I'm saying? That I can, I'll give to you, innit? And he didn't get it. He was like, oh, like, oh, but Young Chinks, like, what? Like, what? And then I must have invited him to a couple events and stuff. And then, yeah, little by little, he came round.
Okay.
And then I ended up signing him last November. And
Still there now.
yeah, we just re-signed.
Cool.
New deal. So yeah, that was kind of how, like, we got off the ground, I would say, in terms of, like, right, we've got talent now, signed. I've always been working with different talent, but I'll just work with them because I would rather me be able to help than see something, you know, with potential not do what it should be doing.
Yeah.
Even if there's no financial gain, I've always been just like on just making stuff happen, innit? So
Yeah.
I think with NJ it was more about like making a play that we could both
Do you find like satisfaction from that? Like
Yeah,
being
much
part
more.
of stuff?
much more like I prefer like I always prefer working with people before they're that person. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like, I've
yeah.
always done this. I'm a music journalist as well, so my first series that I'd done was called Introducing for the Basement. And in that it was in like 2019. In that series I had Blaze Weil, Rushy, Benji Flow, and Cassian
Mm-hmm.
and Kelvin Crash. And like at this point, they obviously like Blaze was already in the House of Pharaohs. Rushy had Trippy Trap was going
Yeah.
off at this point, but we're obviously a global platform. So to put them on our platform on that scale, when we're working with like people like Juice WRLD at the time and like JID, like trying to work with us, and I'm like, yeah, but really, this is what we should be as young people putting a spotlight on.
Yeah.
And
Because that's what's coming up.
yeah, so
yeah.
I've that's always been like a focus of mine because I think everyone just wants to glaze the guys that are at the top that don't need glazing. Like they don't need any more people lotioning them or lick. Do you know what I mean? Like why don't we help out the people that are trying? That
Yeah.
actually like some of these, and it's not even on the hating because they've worked to get to where they
Yeah.
are. But a lot of artists they're just on autopilot. They wake up like I've been there. I've worked with artists who live like that, innit? Like you know, they wake up, their manager tells them what's going on today. Their manager tells them who they're going to the studio with.
Yeah, so I suppose an extra, you know, if that them fans that you've got and they're like, okay, they could go that way to these mainstream or they could come this way to these other, you know, UK raps that aren't as known. If they go that way, that's going to make no difference to the end person.
Exactly,
If they come
bro.
this way, it's going to change some. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly, like, and I get why now working like, you know, with working with brands, you've got to think about what it is that they like, what their top line is, what are they looking for
Yeah.
in a project. Like when you pitch a project to them, like
What's the end goal?
yeah, for them though,
Yeah.
because there's no point pitching a project to a brand if like they're not getting anything out of it. If the person that you're pitching it to has to go to their boss for sign off, for budget or resources, whatever it is, they need to look at their strategy for the year or whatever it like their plan, whatever, and it needs to align with what they're doing. Otherwise, it's not it's not a harmonious fit in it, and it's not really. It's not a good chance it's gonna happen. So like with bigger talent, like I understand why people with brands etc. they want to work with all of the same
Yeah,
popping
'cause
guys
it's
all the
almost
time.
guaranteed, isn't it?
But at the end of the day, like, what was I gonna say?
You need to go to them newer.
Yeah, it's
upcoming
like
talents.
at the end of the day, it's like pouring a bottle of water in the ocean. Like when it comes to helping build their
Yeah.
fan bases, like for example, in it, like Central C, how many collabs? Like he just done that JD thing. And really, like JD thing is impactful. Him being in that campaign, but it probably isn't as impactful as having like 20 people who are relatable to the JD consumer. You get what I'm saying? Because like Central C will never be seen in JD. I will never see Central C in JD, bro. If I did, he'll have 40 man around him or security.
Yeah, that's
Do
true.
you know what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
true.
why do you think that that's gonna make me want to shop at your store? Because it's just showing me that you're trying to make me think, oh yeah, like Central C shops there, so I should shop there.
Yeah.
When like Gen Z, like we're too sav. We know what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like we will look at that and be like, bro, Central don't shop there.
Who do you think then, if you was to do the JD campaign
Like a
and have a
Steps.
main guy?
Like
Yeah.
Steps, like anyone in that kind of space, and like Steps is a big content creator, but his brand and his image is relatable for young kids. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or just young people in general. Like Sench has got to that point where he's so big that like you wouldn't see him in JD. Do you
Yeah,
know what
and
I'm
it's
saying?
almost like when you get to the sort of level he is, you can't really. It's impossible to sort of like be like, oh, I want to be like him, because you don't even think of them as human as such. Do you know what I mean? You don't wake up and be like, okay, how can I dress like Drake today? When
Yeah.
if you're going on TikTok and you're seeing like Steps or like them Chavas or, do you know what I mean? You're seeing all these
Bro,
people
like them Chavas, they would have probably been a more impactful. Like I've not seen one person that I know been like, oh my god, have you seen that advert with Central C in it? But people said to me, have you seen Ants live in the advert?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that shows like, and again, that's not because like people hating on Central or whatever.
You
But
respect it.
it's just like it doesn't hit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's not. I'm not gonna see him in JD. Like he doesn't. He might wear a Nike Tech here and there, but he dresses in high fashioned clothes most of the time. Like that's his brand, isn't it? So but yeah, I think it's just like relatability is
Yeah,
key
and
thing.
just unexpected as well. Like people were saying it like that, not because they were excited as such about Ants Live being on JD as much. I'm sure they are, but it's more like what, like I wasn't expecting this. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly.
So yeah, I suppose when Cinch's going on it, yeah, you're right, and it goes back to what we are saying as well. Like JD probably think because Cinch has got all this clout around him, so if we get on, that means all that clout gonna want to be like and stuff like that. But yeah, you're right, it doesn't work like that when it's
Yeah.
it does, it
Free
all
game.
sort of links back.
Free
Yeah.
game. For the rest, get my email.
Yeah, man. But yeah, obviously, you're good, man. I can send you the full thing to clip anyway. But yeah.
Yes. No, just for TikTok, innit? I do like little like week in a life type.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Fair play. But yeah, man. Obviously, moving forward, I'm sure a lot of it's you can't really talk about. But what sort of plans you got for the future?
But yeah, earlier this year we started the writing camp, the Now or Never writing camp. So that's basically where I'll hire out a studio for the weekend. I'll invite like some of my favorite artists that I think we wanna just get in the studio for a weekend. Invite a load of producers. Last time Nando's kindly sponsored it, so we had loads of free food. We had Bamboo sponsored it, Bamboo Rum, so we had free drink as well. So yeah, basically just get everyone down, film the whole thing, which is on our YouTube, and
You're looking to do that again?
yeah, that's the next thing that is gonna be coming up, probably out from the Now or Never camp, and then we've got a big project that we're working on in the football space. I can't say too much about, but that's gonna be exciting, and then yeah, just more music. Like I'm trying to ready this project, the Now or Never project. We're gonna have a little something coming next year, and yeah,
What,
bro,
a
just-
little like mixtape, or can you not?
yeah, maybe
Yeah,
maybe a little long form
Okay.
musical project from Now or Never, but who knows, innit?
Okay. And with the writing camp, sort of like, how do you decide who goes on there?
Just to be honest, yeah, like I would say I just invite my favorite artists, but I have to kind of, because we've got 2 studios and we usually have around 4 or 5 artists. I've got to make sure that all of the artists I invite, they fit. Like whether they're gonna work or not, like they kind of need to.
You need to see them working together.
Yeah, they need to like they need to have relationships with each other or be cool or have worked in the past. I think because it just makes the whole
Have like
energy of the
mutual
whole
connections.
Day.
And
Yeah,
that,
exactly. Like people come and they're like, "Oh man, I ain't seen you in ages," or and it kind of like for example, like we made a song with Ashbeck and Namani, and at the time, I think Namani just come off tour with Ashbeck, but like I don't think I think they maybe had like one song together at that point, and we made this track, and we was like, they all take the piss out of me because it's one of my favorite songs we made, but like it is a banger.
Yeah.
And it's like the camp for me is about putting people in the same room who should be in the same room to make music, but for whatever reason, for uni, jobs, part of London they live in, it doesn't happen. So Yeah, that's
being
kind
like
of
the middleman.
yeah,
sort
bro.
of,
And
yeah.
I think that's what we do anyway, all year round. That's what we be doing. But I think that the writing camp's just like a special opportunity for us to like bring everyone together for 2 days, put our logo everywhere, and just really like get everyone in the mood to just create some sick shit. Really.
Good, bro. I can't help but think like everything you're saying makes so much sense, but there's so little people doing the same thing. Like
That's a good thing.
yeah, of course, well, it's the best. It's the best possibility. Do you know what I mean? Normally, like with supply and demand, it normally evens itself out a lot more. But with this, it's like, there isn't. I mean, off the top of my head, like the
I think
stuff you're
obviously
doing.
like there's groundworks that are absolutely
Yeah, they're getting more involved. I saw them
killing the
doing stuff with
space.
James C.
yeah, like I'd say in the underground space, there's not really anyone who's putting a concerted effort like we are over here, because probably people don't see the value in it, and like again, like none of these artists are um signed to us, but we see the value in like where they're going and what they're trying to do in it. So we want to be a part of helping them get to that, whether that's
Yeah.
through content, through actually like making music with them, getting them in the studio. Yeah.
Yeah,
literally
and I
however we
suppose
can.
you not being an artist as well, you get a whole different view on it. Like when they're only working with artists and stuff, and then people that are too close in their circle, and even might, without even meaning to, be a bit of a yes man, where it's like, yeah, you can sort of be like, actually, you should do that, but not that, should, and you can pick and choose and sort of have like an exterior sort of judgment on it, I suppose.
Yeah. No, definitely. It's what naturally we give a lot of advice and consultancy to like the guys we work with, just in a normal session that go down always. But yeah, space is interesting. There's not really too much going on, but I feel like I've been saying this anyway. It's really kind of starting to happen. But over the next year, 2 years, more investment and attention will start coming to this scene.
Definitely.
I've already started seeing it anyway. Like I see Kenny All-Star in the studio with like Len, Ashbeck, Londo. Do you get what I mean? So I feel like it's already kind of starting to happen.
Yeah, definitely. And you see people even making the transition. I mean, even not many people remember Sam Rex doing drill, but I do. Do you know what I mean?
That's
that was
mad.
old times, bro,
Bro,
innit?
do you know
On
what's mad?
mixtape.
Yeah, I hit him up in 26. Like we was talking about this when we was in the studio a couple of weeks ago. Like, so when he was dropping on Pac-Man TV, might even be before you're talking about.
Yeah, bro, I was probably like 10. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
literally, like-
2016, bro, I would have been 11.
Yeah,
so,
bro. So he was making different type of music. He was actually signed to Notes. He was signed to Notes' management at the time.
Okay.
And I was trying to work with him, and yeah, like he had a little break from music, I think, and he come back and he'd put all of you could see, like I was saying earlier, like he's giving his artists the full package. Like he's making sure his brand, his image, his music, the content he puts out, like he shoots and edits his videos himself. Do you get what I'm saying? All of the, like he's not cutting no corners. That's why
I've
he's getting
clocked
the
as
results.
well, like he's doing collabs with certain companies. I think he done one with Clark's.
Yeah,
but then
Lacoste, I see one.
Yeah, and he wears it in his normal pictures and doesn't tag them, doesn't do anything, and it's on his story. So it's not. Again, you go back to the Century thing. You might wear a Nike Tech now and then, but he's not going around in normal Air Max stuff and things like that. But he's choosing stuff for his brand, like, and he's wearing it even in his free time, and he's being he's being very selective, which is obviously is working out. Yeah, man. Do you have anything else to mention? Promo yourself, bro.
Let me think. Oh yeah, Sparta. Yes, obviously we dropped a song this year as well.
Okay.
Dropped a song. Sparta. Yeah, I dropped a little birthday present for the world. It was pretty much a demo that we had. That Namani wrote. It was in the studio last December. And I think I was wearing the first sample of the t-shirts. And like just as rappers do, he was looking around the room for inspiration and saw the tee. I'm pretty sure anyway, like because I remember this as he was writing. And then the next like as he's rapping out loud, he was like, "Now or never, more than ever. That's why I gotta do this harder." So then he's recorded it, and then we left it, and obviously I was just gassed because I was like, "Bro,
Little mention, yeah.
yeah, like
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like I don't know when I wake up every day, I'm grinding for this thing, and now I got a song that like when I hear it now or never, more than ever, I just feel motivated
Yeah,
just from
definitely.
listening to this demo. So
You could even use that on like little ads and shit. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
but, like I
Like,
use it. It's our jingle.
yeah.
Like it literally is our jingle. It's at the end of our YouTube channel, like our end screen. So yeah, kind of in the beginning, Nams was just like, bro, you may as well just have the song,
Mm.
and then progressed, like this idea just progressed bit by bit that we was gonna end up dropping the song, and then the Basement Magazine launch day when all the guys were around, like YT, C Milano, Quez, everyone, Drew to Wavy, like everyone was out in it. So we just shot a video at Dover Street Market outside, done like a couple performance takes, some at the party, and then we was just like, bro, the song's not done, like not done.
Yeah.
I don't know how to finish it, what it needs, but it's not finished, innit? So I was like, Blaze will absolutely fuck this tune up.
Yeah.
I know he will, and I know he will jump
That's
on it.
that's like the management coming out of you there, innit? Because like you just being able to.
Yeah, I mean, like
Put two and
obviously
two.
I don't manage Blaze, but I've known him years now. We've done bare different work together. He's performed at parties of mine. I've interviewed him.
Yeah, we met up with him at the Ashbeck and Roshi launch.
Okay,
So,
you know, so he's good people. So I feel like I don't know if I'm gonna, you know, do a project that means so much to me, being the song, like putting a song out as a company, because there's not many people be doing that as well, putting songs out as an entity and not a rapper. So yeah, I feel it just needed the final energy, like piece of energy in the
Yeah.
song. So I was like, Blaze will bring it definitely. Namani and Blaze hadn't had a song, like hadn't made a song together. So
okay, so it all
Like-
made sense.
yeah, bro, it's like I think one for like I know like just for Namani, like Blaze has been doing music a lot longer, innit? So for Nams to jump on a song with Blaze, like for me as a listener of music, like someone who I'm mad familiar with, and then someone I'm like is quite fresh musically, like to the audience, like from what I heard anyway, like from what people were saying, feedback, whatever, it was definitely the right play.
Yeah.
Like I think a lot of people originally when I was playing in the demo, they was like when I was telling them, oh yeah, Normani and Blaze, I was like, and Blaze, Normani and Blaze.
Yeah, I suppose if they've never done a song together, people were just like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Some
'cause
people.
at the time, the money was more on Jersey, like
Yeah.
he's on that Jersey, jumpy, and Blaze is obviously like kind of lo-fi drill. Like they're both obviously got mad sounds that they can tap into, but I think that's at the time that was their main bag, so it was quite unexpected, innit? But yeah, I think that's what music's about, innit? Why not? I was just like, why not? Let's try it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Just because you do it and record it doesn't mean it needs to get released. But obviously, it sounded like it worked. So.
Yeah, it worked. And then there was the chorus. There was this problem of like, bro, if we're gonna do it now or never song, surely the chorus has to say now or never and da 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 da.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, man, fuck that.
Yeah.
And I was like, if we can capture the essence of now or never in like the space where the hook should be, I
That's
don't
all
need